Okay, so let's continue. I'm now going to explore around, checking things out. Uh, Randomly explored the new version of Godot. I already did this and recorded myself, but I did lost most of the footage due to technical difficulties. So I'm going to try to do this again. Of course, I already learned a few things from the last time. So I'm going to start uh, doing a scene. Let's just do a basic scene, and we start trying a couple things out. Let's just try a random scene, and let's add. We're going to add a floor and an object, just just as a simple thing. Maybe we'll try the tile map. Let me see, tile map. The new tile map. First time I didn't try it last time. I just used two sprites, but now I'm going to try the tile map, and let's try one of the newer things, which is the character body. This replaces the kinematic body 2D. That was that was the one in 3.5. So this is a character body 2D, and there's a couple of differences. You no longer have some basic functions because they are now part of a template, which you can choose when you add a script to it. So that's one difference. Let's add a let's add a collision body, collision shape, and let's make it a square. And of course, we're also going to add a sprite. And guess which sprite is going to be? Guess which sprite where we will be working with. So now that's our character, and this is our tile map. Now I haven't used, well, for the character. We add functionality later for the character. Right now, if we do play, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, select chord, yes. Test. Let's call it test scene. And nothing. Let's also add a camera to me so that we can properly see camera to the character so that it follows the character. However, right now it's going to do nothing. Of course, Wheel doesn't really have a mark of reference like graphics behind or anything, but it's not moving because there is not really anything happening here. You need to add things such as gravity through the script, but the template comes from it. If I'm not mistaken, for the kinematic body, you did have a gravity option built in, so that's a bit of a difference. Actually, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was built in the gravity option. I might have been misremembering. It's definitely there for the rigid body, but let's just go with the tile map and let's see. So we need to create a tile set. Let's just create a new tile set, and what the new tile set? square shape. You can. Oh, okay. So there are various types of shapes now. I wonder what does this mean. I will need to start checking videos on it. Physics layers. Theory itself. Oh my god, there's a lot of. Oh, of course, navigation settings. There's a lot of things here. UV clipping. Occlusion layers. Okay. Source. What do they mean with source? Configure. Resource. Source. What do... It's quite... There's a huge difference, well, from coming from 3.5 here. And I have no doubt that it's much simpler now, but I'm not really sure if source refers to a resource. Do I have to? Oh, here. Where's the create button? You can create a new source by using the add button. Is it this one? On the left. The add button on the left. Where is the add button? Is it this one? I mean, it's not really on the... Well, I guess it's on the left side of the screen. Oh no, those are the only two options. So this only works... Does it only works for Atlas and Scenes collection? Okay, so if I have various scenes, ooh, is an atlas. It's always going to be an atlas then. So you cannot have individual sprites anymore, I think. Yeah, sure. So if I use dial, probability 1, rendering, collisions. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So, this is going to be all blue. Okay, but how do I add collision? Is this here? How do you add collision? Physics layer. Does it even have collision? That's a very good question. Because let's see what else is. Line, Rex, bucket, figure, eraser. Oh, this is a rotate tile. I thought it was a undo and redo. No, it's rotate, flip. I do wonder. Setup. Physics. Okay. Well, now this is a very good question. How do you add collisions and stuff? It's definitely a different place. But let's just put a template on this guy, and yeah, and that's the basic template. I wonder if there are more templates than this right now. Not every node has a template. This one has. I haven't checked to see if there are even others with templates. I'm going to guess Character Body 3D will also have a template. I know Camera 2D doesn't have a template, but maybe Camera 3D will have a template. And here's a template, and there's a couple interesting things about it, but for now I want to check if, and there's no collision. Do I have to add? Well, I mean, I can always but that will be, I don't know, that I could always just add collision, a static body, and maybe at this point it's really the only option. But there has to be a way to add collision, right? Because there are physics layer. Is it like this? Oh, is it like this? Is it like this? Did I add it? A collision? Did I add it? A collision? I added a collision, but I need to change the collision shape here because it's not right. Let me add a spray behind the collision so that I can see the collision. Now it should be right. Oh my god, that's easy, of course. Once you know what you're doing, of course this is. I'm going to put it a little bit. No. Character. No. Redo. And character body. And of course this style map is small. So this is the one I had. Let's get it on another side, and this one should not have a collision because I took it from another side and I haven't set up the collision on that side. I think this is the one that had collision. Let's see if that's the case. So okay, and this one I go through. Yep. Exactly. So let's go back to the tile map and erase want to show you something about the default template of character to body 2D that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's not as simple, or I wonder if this is intended. But yeah, of course, in the normal template, it gives you gravity, pretty much, and a means to control it. You can go left or right, and a jump, and it's very simple. Nothing too fancy. None of the parameters are exported, so you can't really shake it on the editor. That was one thing that sort of surprised me, because in the kinematic body 2D, I think you could from the get-go change some of the parameters, but this is not really a kinematic body 2D. This is something else, and that's just a template, so you can always just make them public. I mean, export them. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this. So we have a speed, and they are constant, and gravity, a variable gravity, and it's using what seems to be the default gravity of the project. Project setting, get setting, default gravity. So you can change, probably if I change gravity in the project settings, is there a way to change gravity here? If there is a way, rendering, threading, maybe navigation. There is clearly something here that has a default. Maybe in physics, oh, default gravity, look. So in physics there's default stuff that you can just, almost a sort of singleton thing that probably everyone can just use by, but you still have to get a path to it. I don't think it's as simple, but it's a global thing, more of a global thing of dealing with it. But that's not what I meant. If you will look at this function, of course it's the physics process, but in this particular case they use the inputs inside the physics process. Okay, that's cool. And there's not much to see here. Option, just press. However, the interesting thing is here, because velocity is calculated, and the thing about this is that it doesn't use an action just press button that won't just give it like a boolean. It's either you press it or not. They're using the get axis, and the thing about the get axis, even if you're using buttons, here they're just using button left and right, it doesn't matter. Get axis is more of a float, so what you're calculating here is a speed that could technically be changed. So it's not like the usual uh, speed that you have on a 2D side scroller. You just have one speed, and if you press left, it goes at that speed. It may have an acceleration, but it usually have just it's the same speed, the same acceleration, the same speed. There is no way to modulate that speed, but by using this type of calculation, you can modulate that speed, and that's something you can do. Let me see if I already did this, because of course I tested it. Of course, I changed the settings here on the input map to have a joypad. I put the joypad button, of course, but I also use the axis of the left sticks to check this. To the left, I mean, with the left stick, it means the analog stick. So now, depending on how far you press that, and I also changed the name: jump, left, right. Well, I didn't really just change the name. They are right now, the script is using the built-in actions for moving to the right and the left. I just added my own actions. So I jump left and right, and I use the left stick so that I can modulate the speed and see if that changes. Of course, as I mentioned, it does. It does. This calculation is actually an analog function, not a digital function, which is what usually is used for D-pad. So it's something that people have to be a little bit careful around, because they may create the game thinking that this works in a specific way, and they create the game, for example, so that you go at a certain speed, and this is the max speed, right? But this is, if I modulate a little bit, you can see I'm just slightly pressing the stick, and it's moving slower, and I can a little bit faster and much faster. So slower, so I can modulate speed, and that might change the way the game was intended, depending on how you created it. And if you don't, that this could be an oversight on your part if you don't are not aware about this, and still add joypad support. Suddenly, people, when they are using the D-pad, see, I'm right now using the D-pad, and it's fine. It goes straight to max speed when I use the D-pad. But when I use the joystick, I can control how fast. Now, that may not make much of a change, but it could be a big change depending on the type of design you have. How it all depends on what you want to do with the game, but still, it's something to consider that the default template for moving has an analog function. And that is interesting, because now I will be looking on other scripts to see how they made it, those default scripts, and that type of stuff. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of exploration, like I said. So far, I'm really impressed with the new stuff. Lots of things are clearly for the better. Even if I still don't understand, I can see what they were thinking. It's definitely a big improvement on many areas. I will definitely start looking on videos online, like I say, because I really need to get up to speed on the stuff here. But yeah, I thought this was a little cool exploration to follow up on uh, my initial exploration, my initial reaction of the program. So yeah, well, let's see. I want to keep doing these types of exploration. Let's see what I will do next time. I really don't know if I'm just going to explore something else, or maybe even download one of the projects that is on the asset lib and try to explore it a little bit. Maybe I'll do something like that, or maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, well, I guess this is it. Thank you.